All right, we have a candidate. Everybody knows him and loves him for Commissioner of Agriculture. We'll bring him out. Matt the Welder.
We need a walkout song. I thank you guys for letting me speak or what have you. This is the first time I've ever heard chickens at an event I've spoken at. So it fits with the agriculture thing. I'm not complaining. I'm running for commissioner. What's that? Oh, it's a little bit out of my league for milking. That's a Simpson thing. He's a real estate developer that identifies as a chicken farmer. He probably knows how to milk a chicken. I'm running for the Commissioner of Agriculture. I grew up in Keystone, Odessa, 5 acres. My aunt had 5 next door. And then somewhere around 08, we really started losing orange groves. We started losing agriculture. And around 2011, 2012, after the market crashed, we really started to lose agriculture when they took away the growth management laws and just how allowed this unprecedented, unchecked urban sprawl. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the roads. We don't have schools. And most importantly, we're running out of water, and we're paying for them to find other ways of water, alternative sources. You see them now up in Pasco here and in Polk County. They are drilling into the brackish layer of the aquifer to tap that as a municipal water supply. That to me is the biggest red flag, that they have run out of water. And if we've run out of water for all of the residents, then we've run out of water for our farms and our cattle and everything else. And Florida is just going to be a wasteland if we continue at this pace. And when I started asking questions, why isn't the current agriculture commissioner standing up for farms, standing up for agriculture and what have you, I realized he's a real estate developer responsible for developing a lot of Pasco County. And I'm sure people in this room know that, and it's no secret. So when I seen how much he was responsible for developing ag land, I said, well, I'm going to throw my name in the race. And I didn't think I could scare that old man that much, but he is pretty startled at this point. They are passing laws to try to keep me out of office. I'm sure many of you know, or maybe have heard, they passed HB 91 and HB 991, which says if you have changed your name 365 days by petition before an election, you can't qualify to be a candidate at the state, local, or federal elections in the state of Florida. So everything else in the Florida SAVE Act that they said we need for safe elections, whether it be keeping college kids from voting with their ID or paper ballots, all that stuff, all of that takes effect January 2027. But that guy with the name change, that takes effect as soon as the bill became a law. So I've hired an attorney. I got Mike Beltran working on it. There's a Beltran fan in here. All right, there's one in every crowd. So we got Beltran working on it, and as I can't speak it too much because it's still, we're working on it, trying to figure it out or what have you, but all we can do is wait. It's one of those things, hurry up and wait. He's been hired, he's been retained, and he's drawing it up, and we are fighting back, and the establishment never thought I would get enough money to be able to retain somebody like Mike to push back. So it has put Wilton in a weird spot because he's still not in the race. If they take me off the ballot, there's no other candidate right now that is registered. And before they tried to push me off of the ballot, the party itself was going to endorse Wilton over me back in February. They've done it before, right? They do a meeting up at the state level, and then it's got to go to the Republican executive committees and all that stuff. So it's not unprecedented. The unprecedented part is they were going to endorse a candidate that's not registered to run. At that point, just show up at a bus stop and go, hey, y'all want to be ag commissioner? Come on in. We'll endorse you. The Republican Party of Florida doesn't like me specifically because I'm not afraid to call out corruption in our party, okay? How could you say you're America first, Florida first, Hernando first, Pasco first, if you refuse to call out corruption, backdoor deals, conflict of interest that are happening in your own party? By definition, you're party first. And that's why we're losing the state of Florida. People are putting party before the state. So we need to get back to putting good candidates in office, good candidates that will work only for the will of the people. Right now, the financials just closed. I've raised like 13,000, about 120, somewhere around in there, all from people like you. No PACs, there's no corporate interest, no special interest. The special interest, they don't want to donate to me because I point out how much money they're pumping into our elections and how they're buying out bureaucrats. Like in Hillsborough County, there's one developer, his name is Jeffrey Hills. Sorry, hang on. This is my luck, that's why I don't fly. So there's one developer, his name is Jeffrey Hills of Eisenhower Property. Eisenhower Property Group, he uses all of his LLCs. Every time he builds a new subdivision, he turns it into an LLC. And it probably started to protect him legally. You break your leg in a common area, what have you. Well, the way the campaign finance laws are written, you can only give $1,000 per candidate per person. So if you're married, you, your wife, and your business can donate $3,000 legally to a candidate. If you have 25 LLCs, you can legally donate $28,000 to every county commissioner on the board. And that's how the developers are buying out our bureaucrats. And what that buys them is smear campaigns, political consultants, and the flyers that we get in the mail or what have you. And the one thing the special election has taught the establishment as a whole is people are tired of smear campaigns and political advertisement. We want more out of our candidates. We want representations, and we're starting to reject candidates that are selling our neighborhoods out. And I've been one of the most vocal explaining to people why we're losing ag land. Everybody is talking right now. I say everybody, I mean the bureaucrats that are running on, we are going to give you no property tax. Ask them how they're going to pay for it. You would hear that chicken again before you'd hear an answer from them. If you really were going to offer people no property taxes, you would have a sound way of paying for it without raising your sales tax. Because if you're taking property tax away from homesteaded properties, all of the people who are renting, who are building these new apartment complexes for whatever, they're not going to vote for an increase in their sales tax. They get no benefit out of it besides paying more expensive TVs or what have you. If you wanted no property tax, we would amend our broken greenbelt laws, which were supposed to be agriculture tax subsidies for farmers to help them keep their land so they didn't have to sell out to developers and corporate interest or what have you. The developers throw some cattle on there while they're getting the zoning, while they're getting the plans drawn up for their neighborhood. And as soon as you do that, you should lose that agriculture tax benefit that we're giving you. You should lose that subsidy, and you should start paying exactly what that property is worth and what you're going to do with that property. That would be one step to help you go ahead and offset that revenue that we're losing when you're taking away property tax from homestead exemption. The best one that I like, and they'll tell you they can't do it, but we know they're lying because they were able to make an amendment to try to keep me off the ballot. We tax the PACs. You have millions of dollars in political committees. They are moving it from one PAC to the other. The chicken farmer or real estate developer, whatever he's calling himself these days, he's got 4 political committees. He's worth about $40 million in those political committees, and that money's just sitting there. They would tax us if we spent $610 on Venmo. They want to see our Venmo transactions. They have millions of dollars sitting in political committees. They move that money back and forth, not to benefit us at all, but to make sure they get elected, to make sure they can pay their political consultants. Let's tax the political committees, and let's start using it to go ahead and offset that revenue for no property taxes. The other big thing with no property tax, you guys remember when the speed limit was 55 miles an hour? There's some people in here with enough gray hair to maybe remember that. Okay. Well, when they had the speed limit at 55 miles an hour, you had the federal government, if the state tried to raise it and the federal government didn't want it, the federal government would withhold funds for the road or what have you to make sure that the speed limit stayed at 55 miles an hour. That's what they're going to do with property taxes too. If it goes up to Tallahassee and the local community, the local board denies a real estate developer who donates to the Tallahassee bureaucrats, Tallahassee's going to hold the funding. They're going to withhold the purse strings, and they're going to get it that way. So we need to have not just how are you going to pay for it, but how are we going to make sure Tallahassee doesn't bulldog our local county commissioners to ensure that the developers and special interests get their way. Nobody else is even talking about this. They're all running on a campaign promise of no property tax, no property tax, no property tax, and then they're going to put it on a ballot. And if they put it on the ballot and people vote no, they're going to go, well, see, we offered you no property taxes and you voted no for it. The same thing they've done down in Hillsborough County in Tampa with the Ray Stadium. The CIT tax, they got everybody to get out there and vote themselves the CIT tax. And they promised it was going to be for infrastructure improvements. And nobody was talking about a new Ray Stadium. As soon as they passed the CIT tax, now they're talking about $70 million going from the CIT tax to the Ray Stadium. Billionaires should buy their own stadium. They got plenty of money to do it. We need that money for our roads, for our infrastructure. And if you really wanted to make it to where we have infrastructure, raise the impact fees. Raise the impact fees, because you're forcing longtime residents to pay for residents fleeing other states. And everybody's moving to Florida because they say our states have bad policies. Florida has a bad policy too. It's growth management. We don't know how to do it. We just rubber stamp everything through. It's costing us money at this point.
Yeah, it is.
And if we keep developing our agriculture land and we don't go ahead and put a definitive rule boundary to where that they can't just keep pushing it out and allowing urban sprawl, our grocery prices are going to go through the roof. You're going to be paying more for everything. You know, you got four manufacturers, there's 4 slaughterhouses that process 85% of the beef in the United States.
Yep.
They're bringing in Argentinian beef. When they bring in the Argentinian beef and they put the American rancher out of business, then they're going to jack the price of beef back up. We need to help the American ranchers. We need to go ahead and open up regional slaughterhouses here in the state of Florida. We can do it because they can do anything they want. They showed us that with this whole name change gimmick that I'm having to fight. We just have to motivate them. And the way we motivate them is we come together. Our voice loud enough is a lot louder than the lobbyist and the special interest, because while that money is great and you can run a smear campaign against me, or you can say anything you want on a mailer or a political advertisement or what have you, it's we the people that they have to get out and vote. The corporate interests, all the corporations, all the developers, they can't vote for these people. It's up to us. And we got to get out there August 18th and start voting people that actually care, that will put you for representation first, because right now we have none.
Yes.
We have absolutely none.
Yeah, thank you.
When you look at the Florida Farm Bill, it did nothing for our farmers. They sold it as a way to protect your gas power lawn equipment. I didn't even know that was a problem in the state of Florida, but evidently it was. It could have been, maybe, I don't know. We'll never know. So there was nothing for the citrus industry. Our citrus industry is dying. It's a fraction of what it was. And while I don't have the answer for citrus greening, why don't we help our citrus farmer transition to another crop so we don't just develop all of that perfect agriculture land? Citrus trees have to grow on dry, sandy soil. They won't grow in wetlands. If you develop all the citrus grove into houses and we develop a cure for greening, we've shot ourselves in the foot, because we can never go ahead and get groves back if all we have is swampland to grow citrus trees on. Nothing to help our citrus farmers. There was really nothing to help any of our farmers. It only helped corporate interest. They snuck a part in there about a disparagement law. If you were going to disparage an agriculture product, and an agriculture product could be if you don't agree with glyphosate or you don't agree with fertilizer or whatever, the companies would be able to file a disparagement lawsuit against you. We already have disparagement laws in Florida. Why did we need one specifically for agriculture? Nobody has been able to answer that. Even when I asked Big Sugar if they were behind it, nobody wants to answer the question. So a lot of people have told me, if you don't go ahead and you don't take money from Mosaic and you don't support Mosaic and the fertilizer company, you won't be ag commissioner. Well, hey, at least if I told people the truth, I can still rest and sleep and I don't have to go and try to peddle their lies. So we have a lot of problems in the state of Florida, and none of them have to do with the stuff they're selling us in DC. You know, if you have a politician running for a state office and they want to point to the DC distraction talking point, find another politician to vote for, find another bureaucrat, get you another candidate. And the best part is, we the people can take control of our government, right? So if you guys don't have a candidate you like, if there's nobody listening to you as the people, get out there and run for office. It's so easy, even a welder can do it. I could keep talking to you guys until the cows come home, but I don't want to bore you to death. You guys got any questions or what have you for me?
Just one, how's Live Local affecting the ag land?
Live Local, it's a developer's dream, basically.
Exactly.
They're able to override local density laws. They're able to build apartments out in the rural routes. But if you look at Hillsborough County, where I'm from, Keystone, Odessa, we have the Keystone Civic Association, and they are an excellent group of pushing back, trying to keep their areas rural and their way of life. Because of that, they have motivated the board of Hillsborough County Commissioners to exempt Keystone somehow from having live local projects in it. They've actually shoved a few out. It is possible, but you have to get out there, get organized, attend the meetings, tell guys like John Alico, the man with no name that he despises, said if we get local, they've done it in Hillsborough, we don't want live local in our rural routes out here in Hernando and Pasco.
Right. Well,
So-
and they pay what, 25% property tax for 10 years?
There's all kinds of, like, they can get low interest loans for the development while they're developing. They get, they can override local zoning, they can override local density, and it's a state thing, so like it's hard for your counties to do it, but in Hillsborough, they are fighting back. The county commissioners have been motivated because, number one, 2026 is proving to be a much more difficult election than they thought. People are tired of the BS, and the politicians down there are motivated to, we got to do something. And they are exempting areas from the Live Local Act, but you guys got to get out there and if you come together as a whole and speak, instead of, hey, your neighbor may vote different than you, and you can argue with them till you're blue in the face, okay? You're not going to change his values. But we can all agree Live Local doesn't work in the rural routes. So tell your neighbor, listen, I don't care who you vote for August 18th, but get out there and vote, because we can all agree the world needs less Nancy Pelosi's, Chuck Schumer's, and Mitch McConnell's. Okay, if you've been in office for 20 years, you're part of the problem.
Yeah, true that.
Yes, ma'am. Let me catch the lady in the back. She had her hand up first.
The undersheriff recently spoke at a meeting regarding the tax situation, and he said that they were going to be becoming an MSTU as a non-ad valorem tax, so that they would be funded for the sheriff's office, and pretty much every department will be doing the same.
So they found a way to make sure they can keep their bloated budgets at the sheriff's office and their flock cameras and all of that stuff. I wonder how much we could save. You see Agnaglia going around with Florida Doge, and he's pointing out how many millions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse that people don't agree with. I haven't found many people that like the flock cameras that are tracking them across the nation. Exactly, and it's our tax dollars spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to purchase these cameras, and when you put in a public record request to see the data, the footage on that camera, they tell you it's exempt from public record. Well, if it's exempt from public record, take the camera down, because you're spying on all of us, not just criminals.
Amen.
What's this a license plate reader?
That's what they want to tell you, but they can. So if you've passed a license plate reader to come here today, right, wherever you came from, they can tell you exactly where you left, how long it took you to get here, and they probably have an algorithm set up of where you're going to go from here, whether it be Longhouse. It's a huge network, and all of the agencies across the United States are able to access that network. And in some cases, oh yeah, it's not just a Florida thing. You can, if you're wanted in California, or they're looking for your car in California, they can log in California into flock cameras and see what they're looking for. And it's not just a license plate reader. Say you take your license plate off, but you have a Matt the Welder sticker on your back of your truck or something, right? They will follow that truck for the details of it. If there's body damage, if there's a bumper sticker, if there's a headlight out or what have you. So when they've made this nanny state, part of me believes the reason why we need all these data centers that we don't agree with is because that takes a lot of computing power to have these AI cameras everywhere that are tracking your every move. The data centers aren't for us. If you try to have an image made on an AI, whether it's ChatGPT or whatever, it'll give you a cow with no head. Like, it's not helping us at all. But you need to have that kind of computing power to track people and tell you where you're from. I would take a huge facility of computers and servers and internet connections and all that stuff.
Which is getting approved through ag, and the solar plants, it's going through ag.
Yeah, so well, I've heard,
The department that says don't feed the animals.
I have heard Wilton sold ag land up here in Pasco County. I haven't heard all the details on it, but he sold ag land for solar farms in Dade City area, somewhere up that way, and he takes money from his political committees, from the utility companies. That's a conflict of interest. You have the ag commissioner turning ag fields into solar farms while taking money from utility companies. That's why PACs are a horrible idea.
That power generated in Dade City goes to Georgia. We don't even get it here in Florida.
Did you have a question,
Yeah,
sir?
I wanted to bring up a thing. I endorsed Marvin running for commissioner, and I got phone calls from a whole bunch of people. Why do they do that? And then they spent over $1 million. This is for commissioners. Over $1 million of anti-campaign against Marvin. That's how much money they spent to keep that seat for Alcoa. on that commission.
Oh, they
So,
did this here in Pasco a
The
couple of
same
years
people
ago.
that voted, and it was Holcomb, he voted for HB 991 too. Pretty much it was unanimous, the vote for the name change thing that they needed for voter transparency. If you go back to 2024, I think it's House Bill like 119 or something, I forget the number off the top of my head. But in 2024, the same bureaucrats that said we need this amendment for the name change guy for voter transparency voted on a law that allowed artificial intelligence to be used on the mailers and flyers that they send you, the political advertising. The governor signed it. If you were going to have voter transparency, you would outlaw AI images being used on political advertisement, because what they did to Marvin Bainham was dirty. And what they did, for those of you that don't know, Marvin was a firefighter, is a firefighter, and he had the firefighter emblem on his shirt and on his hat wherever he's a firefighter at. And they used AI to remove that from his hat and his shirt and put the words Biden-Harris, so he would lose. So it's already negatively impacted a candidate, the AI law that they passed. But in the name of voter transparency, that guy with the name change should be cast out. That's the, the drama, that's the hypocritical stuff that I see. And like I said, they can make any laws. They could give us growth management laws. They can reform the FWC. Anything that we, the people, have as a problem, they're the ones that make the laws and do it. And they have proven that they can do whatever they want.
What would be one of your top priorities that would require some legislative support, legislative coalition behind, in order to fix a problem, whichever one it is at the top of your list?
Amending the Greenbelt laws, you'd have to probably run that through the legislature, and providing more protections for our rule boundary from just getting folded in on itself. Right now, when you look at this legislative session in Tallahassee, they have sent up so many, I can't hardly keep track, about 4 or 5 laws to chip away at the rule boundaries, to get it to fold in, and to also take away our home rule. We need to strengthen our home rule to make sure that our commissioners can say no, and that we're protecting our agriculture land. Because the freeze that happened, they were all out there in the berry fields and stuff saying the freeze was going to raise the price of groceries here because Florida grows a lot of the nation's crop in the wintertime. Not one bureaucrat said we need to stop urban sprawl for the same reason.
What can you do as ag sec without the Florida legislature, because they're not going to do dick?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things, I don't know if you're familiar with this, they have they're spraying our waterways with herbicide. The FWC is to open up navigation and stuff. So you can't go to the FWC commissioner and say, Rodney, I dislike your spray program, and I'm going to stop you. But all of the chemicals that the FWC is using have to be registered with the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. So if you unregistered the chemicals that they're spraying, you would end the FWC spray program. I haven't met anybody out in person that has supported the FWC spray program. A lot of the chemicals that the FWC's contractors are being purchased by the state is run through FTAX. Even stuff like mosquito control is run through FTAX. I went down to Collier County. They have a $60 million budget to spray for mosquitoes. The people down there don't agree with the chemical they're using. The chemical's called dibromide, and it's killing everything. It's killing the pollinators. Some of them are beekeepers. It's killing the dragonflies. It's killing the lightning bugs. And they don't agree with the chemicals because it's got a lot of harsh side effects. It's not that they're pro-mosquito. They don't like the particular chemical that they're using. When you look at the letterhead on the Collier County Mosquito Commission, for their budget, it runs through FDAX. So FDAX has a lot of control over pesticides, which is an umbrella term for both insects and herbicides. The governor is supposed to outlaw that, but I mean, we still have people spraying chemicals in our waterway.
Correct, that's federal.
Yeah.
Anything over that's federal.
Nice.
That would be like the chemtrail thing. You would have to have legislature through the federal side, and then the president and all that to sign off on it. The ag commissioner, it's a huge department, and it's often overlooked. The reason why Wilton dislikes me so much, in my opinion, I'm not that horrible of a person, but you never know. Everybody's to each his opinion. It's a huge office with a lot of control over your life, as far as it's Division of Ag and Consumer Services. So if you have a problem with an automotive shop, you can file a consumer complaint. Charities have to register with the Florida Department of Agriculture. Raffles, certain raffles have to register with the Florida Department of Agriculture. The Forestry Department is under FDAX. Concealed licensing is under FDAX, and we have Red Flag Wilton over here that has passed the red flag laws when he was the Senate president. So when you look at FDAX, people think it's just crops and cattle, but it is so much more. I've come across a group of charities that acts more as a lobbying arm for Big Sugar. One of them hasn't paid their taxes in 5 years. FDAX is in charge of charities. Why isn't FDAX investigating these things? I've talked with beekeepers that have said, a pesticide company has killed my bees, but FDAX botched the investigation. And the more I hear, it seems like FDAX is on autopilot.
Yeah, right.
The government shut down, there's less cameras. When the government is shut down, there's less cameras.
Does anybody else have any more questions for me, or?
Good.
I thank you guys
Thank
for letting me.
you.
Yes, sir, in the back. I'm sorry, sir.
I'll get with you on the side though.
Oh, okay, yeah, no worries.
Where are you gonna be, on the 23rd of this month, Thursday at 7 p.m.?
Somewhere in Tampa, but I forget the exact dates because I have so many.
At the Necesita restaurant at the Latino and Hispanic Republican Executive Forum.
And see, if I tried to say that, it wouldn't have sounded so good because I can't roll my
Thank you.
One very quick question.
Yes, sir.
Very quickly, I've seen your schedule that you've posted, you've gone all over the place. Just to show your reach, have you kept track, how many counties have you spoken to so far? Because I know you've been all over.
The county so far, off the top of my head, I can't. I've been all the way up to Walton. I've been to Santa Rosa. I've been as far south as Okeechobee area. I've been to the smallest county in the state, which is Union County. I get around, you know, I'm easy to find. So if the biggest thing is, so the Liberty Caucus has always been pretty good, but the recs themselves are putting their finger on the scale for grassroots candidates. And some of the recs, the members want me to come out, but the recs are saying, we don't want to offend Wilton. And it's not just me. They've already got their governor candidate that they want to push to see get in. So they're even saying things like, I got an email from a rec they wanted to hear Jay Collins speak, right? Not so much that they supported him, but the members wanted to hear what he had to say. And the email from the chairman of the rec said, the lieutenant governor will not be coming to our rec. So they are literally making their selections as we're talking to try to only push certain people into office. Well, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with what the Republican Party of Florida did to the Manatee rec. Yeah, you guys know up this way?
Oh, yeah.
For those of you that don't, the Manatee rec, they went ahead and elected a committee man and a committee woman, and they pushed all of the developer candidates out. All 7 of the developer candidates who had the same political consultant, which is Anthony Pedicini of Sim Wins, they all got voted out. And they put Trent Wayman in, and I forget the committee woman every time. Jackie Hyde, okay. So they put a new committee man, new committee woman in, and the Republican Party of Florida came in, suspended the rec, removed the committee man, committee woman, and put somebody that they wanted in there.
Yep.
Wow.
So the Republican Party of Florida, they're not just after me, they just want the candidates that they know will give their donors what they're asking
They
for.
want to keep up the grip.
We try to take the Trump off of the ballot for the primary.
Yeah? Well, like I said, they were going to endorse Wilton. When that failed, then they came out with this name change law, and they thought, surely he will give up after this. And it's not that I'm all that tough. I've never known when I've had enough. So I went and hired an attorney to fight back, and that has really thrown a wrench in their plan. And if you're Wilton, what do you do at this point? Because now you've had this law passed, your opponent filed a lawsuit. When do you jump in the race? Because at this point, the optics are bad for him.
Wow.
My shirt is what?
Thank you, my buddy.
The man who they passed a law to get off the ballot. That is election interference if I've ever seen it. If you guys want to get your tickets out, we got a bunch of raffles here. I took everybody's yellow ticket for chili and I put it in here, and I just realized I'm not going to be able to, I should have given you 2 tickets. for chili, so we're gonna figure out a different way to do that. But we are gonna do the discovery flight first. So if you have a blue ticket, so we're giving away a flight class. So you're gonna be able to take a flight lesson with Kathy Julian's flight school, Legends, I think it's called. She donated a 90-minute lesson, I believe. If you can draw the ticket, Christine.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Evelyn.
She's
Perfect.
filming.
So it's unbiased.
The jar is smaller than my hand.
You gotta read it.
Oh, I gotta read it?
I'm gonna blow it.
So the winner is 823165. 823165.
Do we have a winner?
Oh my gosh, your wife.
Ah,
Russia collusion.
yay!
You are the winner, wife. I guess we're going flying.
Let's go.
You deserve it.
That's awesome.
All right, we're gonna do 50-50 next. If you have a green ticket, we're gonna do 50-50.
How hard this is. These are really tiny jars, dude. Next time we need some bigger. Okay. Yeah, my hand's too big. Okay.
All right, the winner is 364620. 364620. 364620.
Got a winner?
Yay!
Got a winner! Yay! That's a $50 win.
$50 winner. Big winner. All right, the last raffle we are going to do. Actually, we're going to do one more really quick. Or we're going to do one at the end. If you have your gun tickets, the red tickets, get those out. That's the one
I
everyone's
have
looking for.
mine. Woohoo.
Yeah, we'll get you the money. Okay. Don't leave.
This is
We're going to have Aaron do the draw. He's the one who provided the gun. We're going to have him draw the ticket.
Oh, there you
Yes.
Aaron Baker.
Since I have 3 tickets, you hold my ticket.
I'll hold them. No collusion here. Drum roll for the big gun.
The last time that I drew, my volunteer coordinator won.
Okay, so I can't win.
Let's see.
I drew 2.
Yeah, only draw
The
one.
big one.
3200-327.
Oh, who won?
Who has it?
Christine. Who had it? Who has it?
327.
Scared, aren't you?
There's no
327.
name on the back, so
The chicken.
you got the money in the gun.
Oh, double winner! He won too. Awesome.
Winner, winner.
Winner, winner. Chicken
Where's the
chili.
Where's the winning ticket?
I'll put it back in there. Give all the jars. 327.
327
right
was
here.
the last one. I had 313.
We're going to do one last drawing. We had a last minute donation of a book called Rules for Rhinos by Kathy Chamberlain. I'm going to mix all these up. Keep your tickets from 50-50 and the gun and everything. We're going to mix them all together.
You got a bowl?
We're gonna try anyway.
Yeah, we got a bowl.
Here's a bowl.
Yeah, oh, careful. Oh, that's not mine.
One of those bags underneath. Get one of those bags underneath.
Perfect. We're going to need a bigger bowl than that. That's not going to work.
You don't think?
Right here, underneath there's a bag or a box.
So we got a bowl anywhere.
Okay. There you go.
Put that in there. All right, pick one. Don't look. All right, we got a red ticket, so if you entered the gun raffle, you may have just won a book. Ending in 301. 301, you want a signed copy of the Kathy Chamberlain
There you go.
book.
That's the winner.
All right, let's give her a round of applause.
Yay!
You can claim your book over at the table over there. All right, everybody, I just want to thank everybody for coming and helping support the Republican Liberty Caucus here and helping support these grassroots candidates. I want to thank Jose and his wife again for hosting us. I want to thank my family, all my volunteers for helping us out today. And God bless everybody. Get safe home. Thank you.
Wow, nice event.
You just want me to throw these tickets away now?
Oh yeah, if everybody could finish the food up. We have food and drinks. Have some more chili, have some more drinks. We gotta get rid of it. Thanks everybody, God bless.
Did you guys get to talk to him yet?
No.
Hey,